And the Iowa Barnstormers both trying to get to the semifinals in the AFL playoffs. Mike Gleason alongside Merril Hoge. Great to have you on board. You can see the numbers. 4:35 to go before halftime. Look at the playoff picture. Thursday, Orlando beating Tampa Bay. San Jose over Oklahoma. Last night, Arizona with a mild upset over Albany, 53-50. So now Nashville and Iowa battling for the right to move on into the semifinals. Either to Orlando or out to California to take on the Sabercats of San Jose. Andy Kelly finds his man. It's Russell at about the 20-yard line. And forward progress, they should put him back at about the 20. Boy, Russell's still on his feet. That guy's not going down.
He's a fighter, boy. Tough kid. Tough to bring down. And when you see that from Iowa's standpoint, draw your attention. And you know what? We better get over there and tackle this guy.
And for those of you watching the Michelob Light Classic, the storyline so far here from Des Moines. 4 possessions for the Cats, 3 touchdowns and a missed field goal. The numbers on Kelly: 2 touchdowns, 117 yards. For Iowa, 3 touchdowns on 4 possessions. Kelly almost fumbled the snap. Kelly going over the middle, a little behind Tyrone Jones, and he is dragged down by number 11, Kevin Casevahar. So 3:22. There you go. Merril Hoge, Mike Gleason, great to have you on board. Kind of figured, Merril, you'd be closer to the camera there, right? You being the former NFL star.
It's a great shot, isn't it? Camera's no bigger than like that. Technology. Great
atmosphere here in the barn. At stake, well, Nashville, they've never been to the semifinals. The last week beating Grand Rapids, their first playoff victory ever in 4 tries, and now they're trying to get to the semifinals for the first time. The Barnstormers, twice they played in the Arena Bowl Championship. Only 1 year they have not played in the playoffs. Every other year they've made it at least as far as the semifinals. Second down and short, swings it out of the backfield. Oh, not before first down. Rupert Grant with the reception. He's nailed by Jeff Turner, but a nice play by the Nashville Cats.
A nice little design of the play there to utilize your fullback. A little swing pattern, kind of like a little mini screen. You know, it helps your offensive lineman slow down the pass rush a little bit. Create a successful play. You get a first down. One thing Nashville has really done, I think, throughout the season, but in the playoffs, they play great team football. You know, there hasn't been just one guy they've had to look to. They constantly look at a variety of players. You look at the yardage, average yards per play. That's outstanding right there at any level.
And Iowa definitely balancing the scales compared to the first round. There's a touchdown, Tyrone Jones. So Tyrone Jones has his second. Gary Howe is down holding his right knee. Back of the line of scrimmage. And there was a penalty flag drop back at the line of scrimmage. If the touchdown stands, it'll be Tyrone Jones' second of the afternoon, his 6th of the postseason. But let's wait for the call. The Iowa fans getting rowdy, so it looks like it's going against Nashville.
We have an unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, a chop block. 45 and 75, 8-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Take a look at it from behind the Nashville offense.
You see 45 right there to the left of your screen right there. Comes down there with the chop block. You cannot do that when somebody's engaged. And I'll tell you, quite frankly, that's very dangerous. That's how you blow somebody's knee out. That's uncalled for, not even sports.
Anthony Hicks, and that pushes the ball back to the 20-yard line. So it's 20 yards to go now. 1st and 20 for the Cats. Russell in motion. Kelly, plenty of time. Russell's in for the touchdown. So Andy Kelly put Jeff Russell in motion. He swerved around, cut over the middle, and it went in for the touchdown. So Russell with a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown here this afternoon.
Well, he has been a thorn in Iowa's side. What a great run here. You know, he did the same thing. He made the defensive back, set his feet and stop him. Then Russell came, exploded, got across, got separation. And Garcia, Kelly had to do nothing but just get him the football.
Which he does oh so well.
Yeah, he does that with as smooth a delivery as I've seen.
Whistles before the kick. We'll keep it right here for a second. The ball was snapped, but just before the ball was snapped, the whistles blew.
Before the snap, we'll have the 1-minute warning. Nashville has 2 timeouts left. Iowa has all 3 timeouts left.
All right, keep in mind, in arena football, they stop the clock only with 1 minute to go in each half. So the equivalent of a 2-minute warning in the National Football League, or the collegiate football ranks, if you will. 5 plays, the Cats have gone 49 yards in 4:05, so they ate up some clock as well. McLaughlin trying to remain perfect here this afternoon. He does, right down the middle. He's 4 for 4. So with exactly 60 seconds to go, Andy Kelly and Jeff Russell hook up for the go-ahead touchdown for the Nashville Cats. It's 28-21.
Hungry for seafood? When your hunger strikes, there's only one thing to do. Head to Red Lobster for lobster and shrimp. Sweet, succulent lobster together with mouth-watering shrimp. Just $12.99 right now.
For the Barnstormers. And Turner won't have to play it off the net. Conventional return. And he gets up to about the 9-yard line, and he runs into Rupert Grant along with William Gaines. So that's like running into a wall.
Very similar. And you look at the big plays we've had in this game, and then the receiver comparison. You know, Jones for Nashville and Horacek for Iowa. Averages a little different. Yards obviously are equal, but both of them have a touchdown. Horacek hasn't touched it as many times, but they've been bigger plays. But they've been the go-to guys so far. Really,
Horacek shut out on that first series. Look at 24 yards a catch. As we take a look at Tyrone Jones. Horacek with 46 touchdown receptions during the regular season, which is an AFL record. This is Horacek with the football, and he's upended by Jeff Russell as he gets over the 10. And don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Degree halftime report. We'll recap the playoff picture one more time. Take a look at Darrell Hammond, the all-time leading tackler in the history of this league. And, of course, Merril and I'll be back with the highlights and the stats of the first half. That's coming up on the Degree halftime report. But right now, Aaron Garcia and company still with 26 seconds to work with. Garcia looks right, comes back to the left side. Horacek driven out of bounds by Russell, but not before another completion to Mike Horacek.
The one thing I think we both like about the last minute of a half is so many things can happen. We have seen 21 points scored in a minute. So for anybody to think go get some popcorn or do anything else, stay tuned, because Iowa could easily score 14 points and Nashville could score 7 before we even go to halftime.
I think during 2 of our broadcasts a year ago, I doubted you. You said in the last 30 seconds teams could score a couple of touchdowns. Twice I doubted you. I will doubt you no more. Eddie Brown, Jeff Turner at the top of your screen. Horacek with a little pump fake. He finds Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown has bounced around like a pinball, but he gets inside the 20-yard line, and it's going to move the first down marker one more time. 17 seconds to go.
Mike, the effort was outstanding, but what you have to keep in mind right now is getting out of bounds and saving your timeouts. If you're not going to be able to go the distance, and right there, you know, Brown wasted some valuable time, but I've always felt from a player standpoint, you know, you got to keep all of that in perspective when it happens, and you got to make smart decisions. But, you know, some of it you got to take. It takes away your competitiveness. You want to break tackles, and the coach constantly tell you, get everything you can out of it. But at times like that, you have to gauge saving some time, just getting out of bounds.
27 now. Yeah.
Checking the prospectus on the Ironman for the 2000 season. None of these guys playing here this afternoon, but there's the numbers. Yeah, Wagner goes from Orlando up to San Jose, another big year. Samuels to Tampa Bay, and Hunter Cooper always up there in the Ironman category. The Ironman, of course, in this game, you play on both sides of the football, those getting it done offensively and defensively to win the Ironman of the Game award. And, of course, what they all vie for is the Ironman of the Year award, which is quite an honor if you're a football player in this league.
All 3 players obviously are outstanding, and it's tough to pick. Wagner, boy, he's been around a long time and been consistent. I think that is a true mark of a great player, consistency.
Horacek in motion. Garcia looking for Horacek. He's got him. Touchdown, Horacek, his second of the afternoon. Mike Horacek, 276 points, number 1 in the league. 119 receptions, number 2 behind Carlos Johnson. But now he's getting on track with his second touchdown of the day.
You know, we've given touchdown passes to Garcia for great throws, to Racek for great route running. But on this touchdown pass here, you have to give it to the offensive line. There was absolutely no pressure on Garcia. He had all the time in the world in front of the offensive line for the ability to score on that one.
This could be one of those football games. Whoever has the football last, as Clay Rush. 99 of 104 during the regular season. Now he's 4 for 4, but there is a penalty flag down again. If it stands, we're deadlocked at 28. Barnstormers, 4 plays, 40 yards in only 48 seconds.
Illegal defense. Number 95 with outside rush. Penalty refused. Extra point is good.
Well, the Nashville Cats penalized only 3 times a week ago. They're getting a bucket full of yellow laundry here this afternoon. So we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back for the final 12 seconds of the first half here from the barn. We are deadlocked. Nashville and Iowa, 28 apiece.
Right in him. You want to play us? You want to play here, boy?
Bring it on, big boy.
Credit Jones, though, for keeping his composure.
You wouldn't have. I mean, you would have turned around and said something to that cheerleader.
Where do you get that?
Or at least in your playing days, football. Play rush with the kick. Final 12 seconds. Tyrone Jones plays it off the net, and he fumbles it. Maybe the cheerleader got inside his head. Here comes Jones. Trying to juke his man to no avail. Just gets over the goal line, out to about the 2-yard line. Anthony Hutch is down to make the stop for Iowa.
Well, Iowa has really turned up their tempo as far as kickoff coverage goes. The first 2 kickoffs, Nashville dang near broke it. Since then, only about 2 yards.
Tied at 28. Look at the numbers, huh? Nearly identical.
Well, and that's a reflection of our score. It is identical. 28-28. Plenty of time, though. 9 seconds. I mean, we could have
it's an eternity.
At least a touchdown or 2.
Andy Kelly has Fleming, the top of your screen. Throwing from midway back in his end zone. He got his man. Russell drops it at the 15-yard line. Russell with a receiving and a rushing touchdown. Drops that one. 3 seconds go off the clock. So now Andy Kelly has 6 seconds to work with. 4.9 actually to work with.
Listen up now. Listen up. Corey, seat down a little bit on the snap. You go block the safety. You're going to catch the stack and try to score with it. Let's go left yo-yo. A little bit tighter. 32 stack. On one. Ready?
32 stack is getting a 3-step drop, and they use the stack routes, a little six yards hitch routes. But look for somebody to go deep also.
I would think they have to go deep. No, I'm wrong. Tyrone Jones with the hitch. He's going down just shy of the 15-yard line. You can see the clock. 1 second to go. You kick or go for it. Well, here comes Steve McLaughlin on the field for Pat's Perduto. McLaughlin.
See, this is a luxury I have. See, I'd go for it. I'd get Fleming down in there. I'd send him deep. If that's not available, I'd get it to Jones, because he has the ability to run after the catch like nobody else. And I think he got a better shot. I think this is so far. Now that I've set myself up, we'll see what happens on this kick now.
You know, Merril, I was going to say whoever scores last is a coup going into the locker room, but I'm not so sure that's true in this football game, because the way they're scoring right now, the way they're moving the chains, I think whoever has the football last in the game. This one will be a 50-yard kick by McLaughlin. 16 of 31 during the regular season. He's missed a couple here this afternoon. And once again, he pulls it left. Leonard Connolly. Time has already expired. Here comes Connolly, and he's going. He's still on his feet. And he's finally going down just shy of the 10-yard line. And that's going to wrap up the first half of play here from the barn in Des Moines, Iowa. And it's been a great first 30 minutes. Teams headed for the locker room. The Nashville Cats and the Barnstormers. All tied up at 28-28. Just around the corner, the Degree halftime report from the barn coming up right after this. Welcome to the Degree halftime report, brought to you by Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant. Our score at halftime in the barn in Des Moines, Iowa. The Nashville Cats 28, the Iowa Barnstormers 28. And that's exactly how the game has been going. Tit for tats, 28-28. Boy, these two teams, you talk about two evenly matched teams headed for the postseason.
Evenly matched, you're exactly right. You know, Nashville really came out. They set the tempo. They did what they had to do to not fall behind. They scored first. Iowa matched that. And then Nashville actually took the momentum and ran with it. Iowa did a tremendous job defensively to get them back in the game. Nashville helped them out a little bit by some missed opportunities, but Iowa capitalized. Moved right back into a tied ball game, and here we are at halftime. Exactly what we were hoping for and expecting.
So the Cats and the Barnstormers deadlocked at 28. The winner goes on to the semifinals. This, of course, the fourth and final quarterfinal matchup of the weekend. Let's take a look at what transpired so far in the AFL. Now, Thursday night, the war on I-4 renewed for the 26th time. Orlando striking early. Cannell Maynard to Clifton.
And Tampa Bay answers right back with John Kaleo, touchdown throw to Lawrence Samuels, and now the game is close in the first half.
What about that Predator defense, huh?
Well, Orlando, the one thing you can say about them is they are flat tough. They're great against the run, also down on the goal line against the run, but also the pass. What a tremendous job here to deflect it. And you talk about what Jay Gruden has done. He's 3-0 against his old team. Tim Markham, his old head coach. He has really elevated his team's play, and as a coach, he's elevated his own coaching expectations.
34-24. Oklahoma at San Jose on Friday night. San Jose after its first ever playoff win against the top-rated Oklahoma defense.
Well, you know, San Jose obviously is known about offense and not so much about defense, but their defense really came through in this game. You know, Michael Afali did a tremendous job of the deflection, then the interception, maybe one of the prettiest plays we've seen all year.
And then Lopez and Abdul Salam made it 35-33 in the third quarter.
San Jose's defense again, Mike, came away with the sealer. Mike Wagner with a great deflection. The return for the touchdown, that sealed the game for San Jose as their defense.
Shalom Baker goes the distance there. 63-40 the final. SaberCats' 12th win in a row. Last night, the defending Arena Bowl champion Albany hosting Arizona, and this one was a classic.
Well, it was. You know, and Arizona really came out throwing Cedric Bonner to Hunky Cooper, but then Albany fires right about Pulowski over to Hopkins. Then they take the lead. And then in the fourth quarter, Bonner goes down on a sack. He hurts his knee. Funderburk, his backup, has to come in. Now he throws and goes to the playmaker, Hunky Cooper, to make it 53-50. And maybe one of the gutsiest coaching calls I have seen is the next play, an onside kick. Arizona comes away with it, and they come away with the victory.
And Cedric Bonner watching his teammates from the sidelines, setting up the semifinals coming up Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern time. From California, that's a 1 o'clock kickout on the left coast. Either Arizona or Nashville to take on the San Jose SaberCats. A lot of people feeling the SaberCats with the inside track to play in the Arena Bowl Championship. Coming up on Sunday at 1:30 Eastern time kick from Orlando. It's either Arizona or Iowa going down to take on Jay Gruden and company. 28-28. We're back after this.
What color are your teeth? Arm & Hammer Advanced White Toothpaste. It'll safely whiten your teeth with just one tube. Prove it to yourself with our exclusive whitening guide. You can go from here to here. Great tasting Arm & Hammer makes the difference. So what color are your teeth? Arm & Hammer Advanced White Toothpaste. Whiter teeth, one tube, guaranteed. For another way to move the whitening guide, get Arm & Hammer Gum in the toothpaste aisle. Whiter teeth, guaranteed. It's delicious.
Tom Green here at Muscle Beach with some big, tough weightlifters.
We're going to show how new right guard extreme sport works even under the most
Extreme conditions. Back, stop! Run! Oh no, the kid is gonna get you! He got ya! Look, extreme protection against odor and wetness. Goes on clear and it doesn't quit. Kitty.
New right guard extreme sport. Get extreme. Get right guard.
Ouch.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast, tough-actin' Tenactin pump spray works.
Tenactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with tough-actin' Tenactin.
Fresh baked bread. oven-roasted turkey, and aged Swiss. I think a sandwich like that sells itself, but our ad agency tells me that repetition of the name Blimpie will help customers remember us. Simply Blimpie, for the finest deli cuts around.
It's halftime in Iowa. If the second half is anything like the first, we're headed for a dandy. You know, the better teams in the AFL usually have a blend of youth and veteran experience. In Nashville, Pat Sperduto has a 10-year player whom he simply describes as maximum effort, the type of player any coach would love to have on his roster.
Darrell Hammond's had one of the more distinguished careers in arena football history. The former Virginia Cavaliers in his 10th AFL season. And over the years, he's quietly become the league's all-time leader in tackles. An honor he's proud of, yet he'd cash it in quicker than you can say Arena Bowl championship.
It's just a number, you know. I would like to win more so than I would like to get a record.
While a title has eluded Hammond, it's not what keeps him on the field. He plays because it's still in his blood. He has a degree in turf management, and he's also served as a graduate assistant on Joe Paterno's staff at Penn State in 1994, the year the Nittany Lions went 12-0. The point is, he has different options when his playing days are over. The Arena Football League Hall of Fame more than likely has reserved a place for him, although Hammond doesn't seem to occupy a lot of time thinking about it.
That would be nice. It would be really nice. You know, it just shows that I was a viable part of the Arena Football League. And, you know, other than that, it's a good honor, but it doesn't make me or break me.
On a squad with the likes of Andy Kelly, Corey Fleming, and James Barron, Hammond might be the key to this football team.
Yeah, I would say he's the closest thing to the glue that keeps this whole team together. When the game's done, you don't say, oh, God, Darrell Hammond had a great game, but when you look at the film, you really notice so many things, the little things that he does. The bottom line, he's the most unselfish player I've ever met.
3 times Hammond's earned a spot on the All-Arena League first team. Last year he pulled in 19 touchdowns, which is no surprise, seeing when he left the junior college ranks and arrived at the University of Virginia, he did so as a receiver. It wasn't until his senior year he moved to the other side of the football.
Just wish I could have played at the University of Virginia for 4 years instead of 2 years. I'd probably be a lot richer now. I'd be in the NFL, but you know that's life. You know, you just take your pitfalls and you just turn them around and try to make a positive out of them.
Even though no one has made more tackles in the history of this league, and Hammond insists he doesn't like a lot of recognition. He does say it's way too early to even think about the legacy he'll leave behind.
The jury's still out. You know, I'm still playing, so you know we're still writing history.
And they're definitely trying to continue to write history. Hammond last week against Grand Rapids, quietly 15 yards rushing and 6 tackles. Right now his Nashville Cats caught up in a battle with the Barnstormers, 28-28. The Degree halftime report will continue with scores and highlights coming up right after this.
Evander Holyfield, once a warrior, always a warrior. Tough, strong, fearless. But he's got to give it his all if he wants to get it all back. Starting with John Ruiz. He's won his last 11 fights, 9 of them by knockout. And he won't be satisfied until he beats Holyfield to become the first Latino heavyweight champion. Holyfield versus Ruiz, Saturday, August 12th on pay-per-view or Showtime, America's #1 boxing network.
A kick sails toward 2 steel poles. Why do we lean in our seats? Do we really believe we can affect the flight of a ball through sheer will? Well, if it goes through, who's to say we didn't? This is why we watch. NFL Sunday Ticket lets you flip through up to 13 channels of NFL football every Sunday on DirecTV. Never miss a moment. Order NFL Sunday Ticket now by calling 1-800-GET-SPORTS.
Tonight, division leaders bring power to the plate. Edmonds, Renteria, and the Cards, Chipper, Galarraga, and the Braves. The road trip rolls on. Braves, Cardinals, tonight at 8 on ESPN.
They're not coming out. We're going in to get them. You're always hot. You're always sweating. It's a cat and mouse game.
We asked some of the hottest detectives on the street to switch antiperspirant.
Degree Ultra Dry.
Body heat activated.
Does this work?
When your body heat rises, Degree's powerful Ultra Dry form releases extra protection when you need it most.
When the pressure is on, the heat is on, Degree kept up with me. It kept me dry. Degree kicks butt.
Degree Ultra Dry.
That stuff kicks in and takes care of business.
Your body heat turns it on.
Book 'em.
Welcome back to the Degree halftime report from Des Moines, Iowa. The numbers 28-28. Let's take a look at what transpired here in the first 30 minutes. A lot of scoring.
Yeah, this is not a defensive coordinator's dream here. It's a nightmare. Corey Fleming started up with a touchdown there. Iowa marched right back. Garcia had a tremendous throw. And then Jones, what a tremendous run after the catch. You saw Fleming there with a great block to spring Jones. And Nashville kind of took over. Russell really became part of the game. They started running the football around the corner. And then Iowa started to come back. Nashville got pressure on them, but Garcia stayed in the pocket, got it to Brown. Got in the position where it was tied up. Nashville came back, scored. Iowa comes back again. The combination, Garcia, Horacek, to tie this thing up. There's been a couple field goal opportunities. Everybody's missed. And you look at our stats now, possessions. I mean, everything is identical. Average yards per play, really the only difference.
Looks like
about under a yard. I mean, you're exactly right. But you know, the highlights we just showed you, I mean, they came in different spurts. But when you tally it up and you finish the first half, what you got is winner performances by both teams.
Wow, the only difference 8.4 versus 7.9. Well, last week, Pats Perduno had a huge lead heading into the locker room. Right now, deadlocked at 28. Let's go inside that Nashville locker room.
We'll probably get a hash.
Tuesday, somebody's packing. On Tuesday, somebody's packing to go home. I'd rather have them guys packing than us packing on Tuesday. Right? You got 30 minutes, 20 for 30. That's all we need right now. You got to give every ounce effort.
Let's go.
You got to do it. Down. Wildcat alert, be aware.
Every play counts.
Overload alert, be aware. Okay? Be aware of those things.
You know what happened.
Get a stop. Let's go. Let's take it out.
Let's go. Break it down. Hey, everybody up. Everybody up. Everybody up.
You know what he's challenging you as players is your mental toughness now. You know what should get to you is whoever loses this is packing up and going home. Now's when you got to reach down. You talk about all the weights you've lifted, everything you've ran for. I've always believed this part of games is now mental toughness. Who can withstand all of the stuff that's on this first half and overcome that mentally?
A lot hanging in the balance. The loser goes home. Winner goes on to the semifinals. McLaughlin kicks it into the stands. So the Barnstormers will get the first possession of the second half, but they'll do so from the 5-yard line. Aaron Garcia, the record holder, 92 touchdowns, 4 touchdown strikes this afternoon. Boy, that is amazing, though, not to be redundant. Go back and look at those numbers. 167 yards passing each team. Wow. You really haven't seen any dominance, really, rushing the football for Nashville. I mean, Iowa
brings a tear to my eye, you saying that. Quit saying that. That's sad. Let's get some back-to-backs going here. A little ground game, dang it.
Nashville, the #1 rushing team. Iowa only averages 4.7 yards a game. This is Conley, and he almost breaks one to open up the second half. He's driven out by Hammond and Ronnie Carpenter just over the 20-yard line. So Leonard Conley, the former Hurricane, gets Iowa going to open up the second 30 minutes of play.
Now, what they did right there, they kind of used Horacek to kind of pick or rub, if you will. Use him as a decoy a little bit, confuse the secondary. They're so focused on Horacek that they go to jump him, that leaves somebody else open, makes it a little simple completion, and then run after the catch becomes so important.
They more or less took Horacek out of the game plan in the first quarter, but since then Horacek with 2 touchdown strikes. Have they abandoned that plan, or?
Oh, I don't think so.
Vernon Broughton, the big guy lumbering on the far sidelines. He's going in for the touchdown. Oh, my. Vernon Broughton, 6'5", 295-pounder out of Fayetteville State, North Carolina. That's his 5th reception of the season, his 2nd touchdown. He takes it the distance.
Okay, now you got to credit the coaching staff of Iowa for adjusting. It's just like a heavyweight boxing match. I mean, if you jabs...
Foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 95. This penalty will be carried over to the try. Touchdown's good.
You know what happens when they're doing something to you like Nashville was really on Horacek. You in the second half have to make adjustments. Nashville really worried about Horacek. You see the coverage going to his side. Come back with the screen away from him. Absolutely no national defender there until he gets down around the goal line, and then by then, way too late.
And Clay Rush with the kick. Iowa, 2 plays. They go the distance. Vernon Broughton gets the touchdown, and now John Gregory's Barnstormers up by a touchdown.
Hungry for seafood? When When your hunger strikes, there's only one thing to do. Head to Red Lobster for lobster and shrimp. Sweet, succulent lobster together with mouth-watering shrimp. Just $12.99 right now at Red Lobster. So hurry in and get it before it's gone.
They're not coming out. We're going in to get them. You're always hot. You're always sweating. It's a cat and mouse game.
We have some of the hottest detectives on the street to switch antiperspirant.
Degree Ultra Dry.
Body heat activated.
Does this work?
When your body heat rises, Degree's powerful Ultra Dry form releases extra protection when you need it most.
When the pressure is on, the heat is on, Degree kept up with me. It kept me dry.
Degree kicks butt.
Degree Ultra Dry.
That stuff kicks in and takes care of business.
Your body heat turns it on.
Book 'em.
You see cars with nameplates like these on the hood. Mercedes-Benz AMG, Dodge Viper, Aston Martin. But did you know there's another nameplate underneath it? Here, Mobil 1. Corvette, Porsche, all these cars come with Mobil 1 in the engine and the recommendation to keep on using it. You don't have a car like that? Me neither. But it only costs a little more to treat mine the same.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up, the right there. Ready or not, here I come.
Throw a backyard bash. Let the games begin.
I spy something tan.
Backyard games are never so much fun.
Duck, goose.
The most intense 4-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
Barnstormers come on to open the second half. 2 plays, 45 yards, and they grab the lead 35-28. So now it's up to the Cats to answer the bell, Merril.
And I think that's just going to be how it's going to be the rest of the second half. I mean, somebody's going to do something. Somebody's going to have to answer. And somewhere in between there, somebody's not going to answer, and that's going to be the difference.
Tyrone Jones playing it off the net. Trying to find an opening in the middle. Almost had it, and he spins up to the 10, brought down by Vernon Broughton. Vernon Broughton, the big guy who scored the touchdown.
You know, football's about making adjustments. That relies on the coaching staff. You see right here, Hammond and Hillary all are going to go within the coverage. Iowa, they just bring out Broughton into a little screen. You see how everybody clears away. Broughton does a nice job of blocking, and freeing up. And then nobody from Nashville in the secondary comes up until it's way too late. You know, coaches do a nice job at halftime. You know, halftime's not to take oranges and water and relax. You have to make adjustments and counter what the opponent's doing to you. And Iowa did a great job right there of doing that.
Broughton had 330-pound Eric Golston in front of him, but he wasn't going to wait for him. He passed him and scored. Overshoots Hillary, cutting over the middle, but Kelly almost threw that one from his back. Anthony Hutch in there first for the Barnstormers.
You got to key credit Hutch for this one. Kelly had Hillary wide open, and the pressure didn't allow Kelly to fall through. You see how he kind of has to fall through? He throws the ball, he's falling backwards, can't fall through, therefore the ball floated on him. Therefore an incompletion.
Hutch with 3 sacks on the season. Almost had a couple here this afternoon, and both times getting to Kelly, making Kelly hurry his throw. Anthony Hutch, the 4-year man out of Murray State, 6'4", 295. Second down for the Cats. That's Jones in motion. Kelly over the middle finds his man. Hillary overshot him the first time. Comes right back to Jarek Hillary, the rookie out of Tennessee State. He's out of bounds around the midfield stripe. That's a first down for Nashville. Jarek Hillary, according to Pat's Purdue, they'd love to see this young man win Rookie of the Year. Merril, he's the kind of player, even in college, he could play safety, running back, quarterback. Quarterback, he'd throw 15 touchdowns, catch 60 balls. Running back, he'd rush for 1,000 yards. This guy's just a jack of all trades.
Well, in arena football, you like to diddle guys like that, because that's what you need to be successful as far as a team goes in arena football. Guys that can play both sides of the ball and be effective.
Kelly, quick hitter, Corey Fleming. Fleming jukes his man, cuts back inside. He's down near the 15-yard line. And don't forget, coming up, the National Football League. Well, obviously, ESPN has it covered. Sunday, NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and NFL Primetime at 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific. Both begin September 3rd. Got the likes of Chris Berman, Tom Jackson giving you the scores, highlights a little more, telling you how and why things transpired. And before that, of course, you got Chris Berman, Stuart Scott, Sterling Sharp, Tom Jackson, Chris Mortensen. It's all coming up September 3rd. Andy Kelly, quick pitch. Rupert Grant, short side of the field, driven out of bounds. And Rupert Grant, a week ago, with 15 yards rushing. Jason Bratton, yet to carry the ball here this afternoon, had 20 yards rushing in that victory over Grand Rapids. Nashville Cats with 2 of the top 10 rushers in the league. 3 guys over the century mark.
Bingo, Z-slant, on, ready?
Of course, the Orlando Predators, we'll see them next week. They have the top 2 rushers, Hamilton and the quarterback, Pennell Maynard. Twin receivers at the top of your screen. Jones headed in that direction as well. And Kelly going deep for Fleming. Fleming comes down with the football. It's going to be a touchdown. Nashville. No indication yet. He and Case Vaharn were wrestling for the football. I still have not seen the touchdown indication. But Andy Kelly's down.
Well, let me tell you this. That's got to be a touchdown.
Yeah, no indication
I'll
yet.
give you the indication. That's a touchdown. Okay? That right there is amazing. Andy Kelly did one thing. He put the ball in a spot, and he knows Corey Fleming. Now it's up to you to go get that football. Unbelievable.
That's a big-time play there.
Well, a big-time play from a big receiver. You know, a guy that can jump and get the ball, who has good height. And he knows it. I mean, right there, that's about 2 competitors going for it. Fleming won that.
Penalty flags down after the McLaughlin split the uprights. Early indication, I would believe it goes against the Barnstormers of Iowa, and we're going to have another tie football game at 35. But let's wait for the call.
We have holding on a defense number 42. Have penalties refused. Extra point. Good.
So the call goes against Moulton. And it stands. Corey Fleming. Chalk up another touchdown. This time a huge one. 122 career touchdown receptions now for the former Tennessee Volunteer.
Lose weight free 24 hours a day with Premier Diet ZX. Like Metabolite 356 and Slim RX, Premier Diet ZX works thermogenically with your body to speed up your metabolism and help you shed pounds and inches fast and easy. Millions of people have used Metabolite 356 and Slim Perspirant,
and by Tenactin. For tough cases of athlete's foot, there's Tough Actin Tenactin. Another shot of downtown Des Moines, Iowa, the home of the Barnstormers, the home of the barn, a building deep in AFL tradition. And right now, the Barnstormers trying to get to the semifinals, deadlocked in a war with Nashville tied at 35-35. Oh, when they named it the 50-yard indoor war, they named it appropriately. This has been a dogfight. I guess we should say a cat fight, huh, Merril? Onside kick. Wait, Corey Fleming and Carpenter, Ronnie Carpenter taking their time diving on that football. Of course, they have to wait till it goes 10 yards.
Well, from where the flag is, I think somebody went off sides. It would say that. But that was the longest onside kick I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly.
Now, what I'm telling you, from Iowa's standpoint, that's embarrassing because somebody has got to get close to that football because it took 2 or 3 bounces on the other side of the 10-yard line where Nashville could not touch it.
Exactly. Good call, because Corey Fleming.
Offside, kickers, number 86. 3-yard penalty from the ball was recovered.
Tough break for Pat Sperduto. I mean, Corey Fleming was actually turning on his man and boxing up, as in basketball, trying to keep the Iowa players away from the football, waiting until it went 10 yards.
I mean, what a great job of getting downfield, what you try to do. It's like a little basketball inside the paint, holding people out, and they come up with the ball, but to no avail. Now, what's going on here? Because if it's offside, you surely can't give the ball to Iowa since
well, Corey Fleming still pleading his case. Garcia back on the field, and the Barnstormers tied at 35. Great opportunity now for Iowa.
This is what you chance, you know, you're Coach Sperduto. That's the risk you run if it doesn't work out.
Close but no cigar. Here's Horacek. He already has 2 touchdowns, fighting his way towards the goal line, just shy of his third touchdown of the afternoon. 9:09 and counting here, quarter number 3. Ronnie Carpenter making the defensive stop along with Davis for Nashville.
You know, nice job by Garcia to find out what receiver gets the most cushion. You know, it's obviously going to be Horacek because of their concern about him. And then if you're Horacek, now you got to turn yourself into a runner, a physical runner, and break a tackle and get it in the end zone.
Oh, so close, about a yard away. There's the numbers on Mike Horacek. Garcia quickly turns, fires. Incomplete. Looking for Leonard Conley. He had it, he dropped it, and he was belted as soon as he touched the pigskin.
You know, Ron Carpenter come up there and just derailed him. And that's what you have to do. When somebody's going to catch the football in a wide receiver position, you're the defensive back, you got to make them pay. And that, my friend, is paying somebody. And now what you've done is you also establish something the next time they come out.
That's one reason why Mr. Carpenter out of Miami of Ohio stuck with the Rams last year, won a Super Bowl ring, and reports we were told anyway he's headed back for the Rams camp tomorrow. Garcia quick touchdown Conley. So Conley had it and dropped it, but they came right back to the former Miami Hurricane. That's his 17th touchdown on the season. 11 of those on the receiving end.
Well, the one thing that's so impressive in arena football is the quarterback position and how quick, not only they have to take the snap, but to grab hold of that ball and get rid of it. I mean,
I was thinking the same thing.
But so fast. And then on top of all of it, you have to be accurate with it. Great job by Garcia.
That's a great point. Almost looked like Garcia didn't even have control of the football. Took the snap, turned and fired. Play rush. He remains perfect. The number 1 kicker in the league. 95% on the PATs this year. Let's take another look at that. It's Leonard Conley.
You just watch Garcia. I mean, to snap the ball, I mean, he has to have it up in your right. Not in the most ideal of positioning with the hand, but you know what? He got the job done. And sometimes in this game, that's all you can ask. You say, listen, just get the job done. Don't know how or why, just get it done for me, all right?
Get it to him quick, almost the element of surprise. 3 plays, 7 yards, using up 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
Turn it up even higher. Turn it up even higher.
Aaron Garcia telling his mates to turn it up even higher.
And, you know, that's what you need from your leader, too. I mean, not come back and grab a cup of water and sit back on the bench and go, job well done. I mean, now you got to carry that momentum over to your defense. You know, challenge them now. Make their live up to what you have done. You've established a lead for yourself. Now we want more points.
Aaron Garcia, 4 different receivers pulling in touchdowns. Aaron Garcia, one-time freshman starter at Washington State before giving way to a guy by the name of Drew Bledsoe. Aaron Garcia transferring to Sacramento State, now coming here and shattering Kurt Warner's records in Iowa. There's the kick. That's the first time that Rush is going to miss the nets, but it goes into the stands. And one of the staffers here in the barn falls out of the field, out of the stands. But Nashville will start from the 5-yard line. A lot of activity down when that ball's coming off the net so close to it. Andy Kelly down by a touchdown with 7:09 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Are you ready for this? How you may get it. You guys got it. Let's go left switch up down. Let's go 33 stack. Hold on. Ready?
The stack is one of the most popular routes in arena football. It's just a 3-step drop, and all receivers will just do a 6-yard hitch. They'll find the guy who has the most cushion to get him the ball.
Kelly, quick hitter, Tyrone Jones. Whoa, he's got the afterburners on. Tyrone Jones is going to take it the distance on the first play from scrimmage.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow. Get it to number 6 and watch him go.
Hey, I don't want to take anything away from Andy Kelly. I could have done that. I mean, when you got guys like Jones that can run after the catch like this, I mean, you're foolish to try to throw it any deeper. I mean, do that. I mean, get him the football and let him do what he does best, and that is run after the catch.
He just took off after that end zone. Kelly took a hit by Filer as well, but he just outran, Jones did, outran Leonard Conley, who used to be a big-time running back for the University of Miami. Wow. Andy Kelly last week 7 touchdown passes, and I think I did mention, I should correct myself, that would have made him #1 all time over Todd Hamill, but they don't count the postseason stats, so he'll have to come back and get that record next year as McLaughlin splits it through. Yellow laundry back on the field again. A lot of that yellow stuff littering this field this afternoon, both sides.
Illegal defense, outside rush at number 34. Penalty refused. Extra point is good.
So both Rush and McLaughlin perfect on the PATs this afternoon. Pat Sperduto watches Kelly sit back and watch Jones take off. Touchdown, Nashville tied at 42.
I need a car.
Shopping for a used car will never be the same.
No, a convertible. A red one. With under 15,000 miles.
Welcome to Autotrader.com. With 1.5 million used cars updated daily, it's the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
You couldn't help me with a loan, could you? Can we help you?
Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast Tough Actin' Tenactin pump spray works.
Tenactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with Tough Actin' Tenactin.
Fresh baked bread, oven roasted turkey, and aged Swiss. I think a sandwich like that sells itself, but our ad agency tells me that repetition of the name Blimpie will help customers remember us. Simply Blimpie, for the finest deli cuts around.
You see cars with nameplates like these on the hood. Mercedes-Benz AMG, Dodge Viper, Aston Martin. But did you know there's another nameplate underneath it? Here, Mobil 1, Corvette, Porsche. All these cars come with Mobil 1 in the engine and the recommendation to keep on using it. You don't have a car like that? Me neither. But it only costs a little more to treat mine the same.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Tyrone Jones put on a show last week, doing the same here this afternoon. The numbers deadlock 42 apiece. Jones 12 catches, 222 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Wow. Yeah, that's a career for most wide receivers. You look at what he's done today, though. At the very beginning of the game, a little hitch and then run after the catch, which has kind of been the staple of Jones. And then again, a little hitch and the run after the catch. And with a guy like Jones, that's what you want to do. I mean, you have to respect his speed, so you're going to back off him. So if they're going to do that, just get him the ball.
Bring out the corncob heads. Little extra adrenaline added to the Barnstormers now. They're deadlocked at 42. Ooh, that's a live football, folks. Carpenter's all over it. Jeff Turner on the spot. Turner's got some running room. Anthony Hicks drives him into the boards, but boy, that's what arena football is all about. Off the bar, live football, and it looked like Nashville was going to be right there, Johnny, on the spot.
You know, at this point, you have to look at the breaks Iowa has gotten versus Nashville. Here's about the 4th break that has went Iowa's way when it looked like it should have went Nashville's way. The ball is exposed. You got Nashville players all over the place, and Iowa comes up with it. A big break for Iowa. We'll go back to the beginning of this second half. Nashville goes the onside kick. They get the recovery, but they had a penalty. Iowa gets the ball on the 6 or 7 yard line of Nashville, and the missed opportunities Nashville has had when Iowa has broken coverage.
Garcia flush from the pockets, finds his man Horacek, covered by Hammond. Penalty flag down. Just about the time the ball was snapped.
And that oftentimes tells you it's holding right in that area.
Both these two teams trying to get to the semifinals, either San Jose or Orlando.
We have 2 fouls in the play. Illegal defense, number 44. That penalty is going to be refused. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 90. 8-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
There you go. Goes against Nashville. Pat Sperduto, only 3 penalty flags last week against his team. They've been penalized heavily here today.
Well, you're right. The ball in football terms, was gone for an eternity.
Nashville 6 penalty flags against them. Iowa just a pair. Garcia straight back in the pocket looking for Turner, almost picked off by Robert Davis. Robert Davis out of Vanderbilt. 5'10", 190-pound rookie. You know, I want to go back a couple of seconds. Now, Tyrone Jones had a huge game, but the numbers said he had 222, 6 touchdowns. I think those were Andy Kelly's numbers. I mean, Jones has been super.
Let's go left. 80-87 X8 on
Mike Moore tells me they're both playoff games. So those are the numbers so far.
Like I said, a career for most wide receivers, and he's done it in that.
That's true. 6 touchdowns.
And a half.
I stand corrected. Okay, it's 4 last week and 2 this afternoon. That's Jeff Turner. He's piggybacked into the boards by Robert Davis. But not before Iowa picks up yet another first down as momentum keeps shifting back and forth. Actually, I'm not so sure if Big Mo is even playing a factor because both teams are just going back and forth like a tennis match.
You know what I've been impressed with? Garcia threw it to Jeff Turner, went down to Jeff Turner and told him he ran the wrong route. But I really respect what Garcia did. Came right back to him on the next play. When you look at the comparisons of Kelly and Garcia, I mean, almost deadlocked. I mean, the difference has been 1 touchdown, and that's the difference in this game right now. Is Arena touchdown, a few less yards. Sorry, Mike, go ahead, bud.
Arena football's about excitement. A lot of offense. You're getting it here this afternoon. Oh, little crisscross. Horacek and Eddie Brown. Horacek got to the football first. And Eddie Brown telling his buddies, if Horacek misses it, guys, I'm right there. I would have caught it.
You know, oftentimes when you do this type of route running, you're asking your receivers to keep it flat. I don't know if more than likely it looked like Horacek should have kept his route just a little flatter because you've got a route over top and back of you. You don't want to run into each other. But you know what? It worked out all right, and they'll take it.
And Rush drills it through. 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go. Iowa with the upper hand again. It's back and forth. Horacek with 3 touchdowns. 49-42, Barnstormers.
I need a car.
Shopping for a used car will never be the same.
No, a convertible. A red one. With under 15,000 miles.
Welcome to Autotrader.com. With 1.5 million used cars updated daily, it's the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
You couldn't help me with a loan, could you? Can we help you?
Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
Iowa 3 plays, 29 yards and 244. They have the upper hand again at the 3:07 mark, 49-42. College football season's all set to kick, and by ordering ESPN Game Plan on pay-per-view, you can watch over 100 extra college football games this fall. That's up to 10 games each Saturday. Follow your favorite teams as well as your hated rival. Order a season package by August 31st and receive a discount. Call your local cable company, DirecTV, at 1-800-DirecTV, or Dish Network at 1-800-333-DISH. For more, log on to ESPN.com. And for more of Arena Football, just stay tuned because we've had a lot of action. Onside kick, the other side. Clay Rush waiting for it to go 10 yards. Doesn't do so. And Rupert Grant jumps on the football for Nashville. So both teams trying to grab the upper hand with an onside kick, Merril.
And I think that's a mistake. You know, you've got the lead, and you've already got one break by them trying the onside kick and failing. Now, basically, you've offset that by you trying an onside kick and failing. And that wasn't even close. I mean, not even close. You know, I think you've gotten away with a lot of breaks today, and you stay with that. You know, you don't give them opportunities. And what you've done now, you've put the momentum right back on Nashville's side.
Well, John Gregory wants his team use up 2 minutes and 44 seconds, but it's actually about 2 yards shy of reaching the 10-yard barrier as Andy Kelly trying to capitalize down the mistake. Oh, Hammond was there, penalty flag, covered by Eddie Brown, and they got tangled up with each other. And Eddie Brown said, whoa, incidental contact? The official, I believe, will call it against Eddie Brown. That's the call.
I'm surprised nobody here in Iowa like that.
On the defense, number 7. Half half the distance to the goal line. Automatic. First down.
But now you see what happens in 2 plays. The onside kick fell. You get a penalty. You have Nashville now on the 4-yard line. I mean, and Nashville has done nothing at this point.
Rush, you go to X, you go zoom, far left, twin tight, 49 ISO. Hold on, ready?
All right, now they're just swishing up the runners here. 49 is the wide receiver running the football. We'll see who goes in motion, and that's going to be your ball carrier.
Andy Kelly's going to call a timeout. Now, you say Nashville's done nothing to this point.
Well, I meant in those last 2 plays.
Oh, in the last 2 plays. I'm sorry. I was going to say Tyrone Jones.
Fucking timeout. I should have taken a penalty.
So Andy Kelly and Pat Sperduto trying to figure out a way to go the final 4 yards. Tie this football game up again at 49. It's been a great one. Here from the barn in Des Moines. Back and forth. The game opened up. The Nashville Cats opened up a 21-7 lead. And keep in mind that they lost 56-31 the last time they played these Barnstormers, but definitely not the indication here today.
You know, if you're Nashville, you got to think of what has been good for you. You know you've had a great running game the entire year. Hasn't been utilized a lot tonight, but I'd use it right now. Or I use Jones. Jones is a guy that can create separation. And when you're down in this kind of territory where the field is very short and compact, you got to have a receiver that can create separation. Jones is one of those guys if you're going to go throw it. Or your third option, Fleming or Hammond, who is in there now. Big, tall receiver, throw it up in a position where only he can go get it.
Well, outside the fact that Kelly and Garcia.
Draw return. 49 ISO.
But they're going to go with the Zorro return. That's going to be the motion. Whoever goes in motion from the wide receiver position is going to be your runner. They're going to run the football.
Rupert Grant lined up behind Kelly. Pitch goes to Darrell Hammond. He cuts back, and Hammond spins into the end zone for the touchdown. No, he broke the play. Now the Iowa players jumping on it as if it was a fumble, but Darrell Hammond broke the play. That's a touchdown for Darrell Hammond.
You know, right there, it just becomes an attitude and a desire. You know, Hammond gets the ball here, does a nice job of, you know, using these blockers and then spinning. Ball's broke the play, and that's a touchdown. Even though the ball leaves at that point, that's a touchdown.
Sperduto calls him maximum efforts. Of course, we profiled him at halftime, and that was a maximum effort right there as he found the end zone.
You're absolutely right, Mike. And that's what it's going to take from this point out.
McLaughlin with a chance to tie it. He does. So both kickers still perfect in the extra point department, but as the game goes on, Merril, more and more pressure on these kickers not to miss an extra point.
Boy, Mike, you couldn't. I mean, you're exactly right. You talk about one miss extra point, that could be the difference. That could be the difference when you have a game that is this closely fought in every category.
Well, we mentioned the 56-31 Iowa victory earlier this year. Before that, 2 field goals, one made, one missed, determined the outcome of the game, both going to the Barnstormers of Iowa.
You know, situations like this, Mike, when the game has been like this, where the offenses have dominated, the thing that has to surface for Iowa or Nashville is your defense. They have to make a stop, or your special teams. They have to make a big play. That's where this game is going to come down to, that side of the ball, defensively or special teams, in order for a team to win.
Let's compare the numbers now this half.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Look at that. I mean, it's darn near identical. And that's why, you know, it just goes to support, you know, what has to surface. The defense of one of these teams has to surface towards the special teams to make that key play.
Well, the Cats had never won a playoff game in 3 previous tries. Their 43-point win last week over Grand Rapids, the second largest margin of victory compared to the 45-point win Detroit over Dallas in '93. But boy, if they get out of this one with a victory, they're going to be emotionally spent. That's the kind of ball game this has been this afternoon. McLaughlin with the kick. Tied at 49. Jeff Turner takes it off the bar. Actually gave Turner some momentum, gets out to the 10-yard line, and he is drilled backwards. Darrell Hammond's in on the stop, as is Rupert Grant. Grant's done a good job on kick coverage here this afternoon.
Yeah, you know, he's a guy, you know, Rupert Grant, that he just, you know, Wasn't a guy they were going to feature. Wasn't even a guy that was a starter. Got an opportunity to play, and one of those guys you just can't keep him off the field. I mean, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, he consistently makes plays for you. I mean, you cannot deny that. When you're a coach and you see that, you have to get him on the field, and that's why he's on the field for Nashville.
Garcia trying to grab the upper hand again for Iowa. Steps up in the pocket, comes down deep. That's Horacek. Oh, he had it and he dropped it. Thrown just a little bit short, but Horacek had the football, and Robert Davis had to play catch-up. But the ball falls on the turf. We're coming back for second down.
You know, it was underthrown a little bit, but that is a catch. Horacek, I mean, most of the time comes down with. But Davis doing a nice job of recovering and, you know, just deflecting his vision for a second, and that's all it takes. You know, just that split second of separation from ball to hands to tuck, and you dropped it.
Hometown hero in Nashville, Robert Davis, played his high school football in Nashville, went to Vanderbilt. Rookie season in the AFL. Garcia, straight drop. Eddie Brown, complete, and he is drilled. Davis and Carpenter team up, but not before they get the football up near the midfield stripe. 20 seconds and counting before they put the third quarter in the books, tied at 49. 8 seconds ago, I think that's going to be the final play of the third quarter. Don't go anyplace because we've got a wild football game in the fourth quarter. Definitely headed in that direction. 15 minutes of football to be played here from the barn. We are tied, headed for the final quarter, 49-49.
3D.
Okay, boys. Last one up, the right there. Ready or not, here I come.
Throw a backyard bash. Let the games begin.
I spy something tan.
Backyard games were never so much fun.
Duck, goose.
The most intense 4-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
Tom Green here at Muscle Beach with some big, tough weightlifters.
We're going to show how new right guard extreme sport works even under the most
extreme conditions.
Back,
stop! Run! Oh no, the kid is going to get you! He got ya! Look, extreme protection against odor and wetness. Goes on clear and it doesn't quit.
New right guard extreme sport. Get extreme. Get right guard.
Ouch.
Introducing new Castrol Super Clean Tire Gloss. It's specially formulated to give tires a brilliant shine. New Castrol Super Clean Tire Gloss. Shinier longer than all leading brands.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast, tough-acting, Tenactin pump spray works.
Tenactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with tough-acting Tenactin.
Strap them on. Here we go, the final 15 minutes. Time 49.
Maybe the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The way this is going, we could go into a little extra time if it takes that.
John Gregory, the former guru of the Canadian Football League. 6 years the head coach.
You know, something John Gregory has done a nice job of and prepared his team for was bad plays that could happen. I think that the team responded early in the first half when they were down 14 points, that they didn't panic and they overcame it. And that's the preparation the head coach has given you all week. And he prepared them for that. That's why I think they responded in this fashion. And we still have a game that is tied at 49.
Merril, I'm impressed with Mr. Garcia. I thought for sure that Nashville would put some heat on, which they have. They definitely have done that this afternoon, but Garcia has withstood the pressure, stepped up in the pocket, and got the job done. Here's Garcia. Horacek again. Horacek driven out of bounds by Carpenter, but he's down near the 5-yard line. Veterans Memorial Coliseum, more affectionately known as the Barn in Des Moines, Iowa. The quarterfinal matchup alongside Merril Hoge, the former Steelers star. My name is Mike Gleason, and it's great to have you on board for this AFL quarterfinal matchup. And the numbers through 3 quarters of play. The most important ones, of course, 49-49, the score.
Look at that.
Identical.
Those passing yards. First downs 14. And that's why we've got a 49-49 ball game.
And the Barnstormers hoping to get it in another time, which they will with Leonard Connolly, the former Hurricane, busting through for his 2nd touchdown of the day. So Leonard Connolly, who once had 144 rushing yards against the Seminoles of Florida State, gets in with his 2nd receiving touchdown. And Iowa grabs the upper hand again, 55-49. Another look at Mr. Conley.
Well, you have to credit Garcia again for the ability to take the snap and get rid of the ball so quickly and so accurately, maybe even more important. And then Conley knowing where he is on the field, assuring the catch, and then getting in the end zone.
Play rush. The spot, the kick, and the pressure's off him for the time being because he remains perfect. 56-49, Iowa on top. And later tonight, more Major League Baseball on ESPN. Coverage begins with Baseball Tonight, presented by Pep Boys at 7:30 Eastern Time. And then it's Sunday Night Baseball with Atlanta at St. Louis. Chipper Jones, the Big Cat, Andres Galarraga, and now B.J. Surhoff against Jimmy Edmonds. Boy, Will Clark has done a super job for the Cardinals since joining the team. They're trying to keep the Cards ahead of the Reds in the absence of Big Mac. Braves and Cardinals on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. The Iowa scoring drive, 3 for 39, using up 3 minutes off the clock. Finally, a 6-yard touchdown reception, his 2nd of the day.
You know, the time is going to become important. Mike, you mentioned there, and you see the 3 minutes. That's important now. You know, now you want to manage the clock. Anytime you get the lead, you want to be able to assure yourself that you're going to have the ball with the last opportunity if it's going to stay like this. You know, if defense is not going to elevate on one side of the field or the other, Nashville or Iowa or special teams, then you have to control the game by having the ball in your possession last.
Rush with the kick. He has yet to clear the net tonight. He's done it 5 times this season. Tyrone Jones playing it out the net. Finds the hole. And he had some running room, but Hutch again. Hutch is doing a super job for the Barnstormers. He makes the stop. That's his 3rd tackle on kick coverage alone.
And it was a nice job of keeping himself in position. He's responsible for contain. You keep the receiver or the runner on the inside shoulder. He did that. Exposed him down and made a nice tackle. Because had he not done that, it's Jones and the kicker. And I'm going to tell you where my money's going. On Jones, not the kicker. I don't put my money on any kicker. You know that.
Well, all he's got to do is,
unless it comes down to kicking,
doesn't even have to juke you. He can look right and just dart off to the left, and not too many guys are going to catch him. That's Hillary and Jones split to the right side. Fleming at the bottom of your screen. Kelly going deep, looking for his former Tennessee alum. He overshoots his man. Carlos James on the coverage, but a penalty flag back at about the 17-yard line.
Well, Fleming wants a flag, and we have a flag, but unfortunately it's not on Jones or James that was defending Fleming.
Illegal defense. Number 78, the defensive end drifting downfield, covering a receiver. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
One of the few penalties against Iowa here this afternoon. Automatic first down for the Nashville Cats.
Now, I can only tell you if Broughton is drifting into coverage, that's not by accident. I think that Iowa's trying to do a little scheming here and see if the officials are awake.
Well, they're awake. Doing a super job. They caught it that time.
53 comeback, wide post corner.
So first down for the Cats. They're trailing 56-49.
You know, now this is going to be a wide post. It's a 5-step drop. Jones is going to go to the post, and Fleming's going to come on a comeback.
Kelly straight drop. He's going deep for the home run ball. Tyrone Jones, touchdown, Nashville Cats. Wow. Back and forth. The tennis match continues here from the barn.
You know, what's interesting about that throw, when Kelly let it go, as we're sitting here amongst the fans next to the field, I'm like, let's go to the stands. And then when Jones had only like 3 yards left, the focus and the concentration. Now watch this. That ball is way up in the air. To stay with it, I mean, that's just tremendous focus from a wide receiver standpoint. You know, to stay with the ball, know where you are, and be able to make that catch. I mean, he has been big time for Nashville tonight.
Case Vaharn with 10 interceptions this year, but once Jones makes that catch or turn, once he makes the break, closing on him is so difficult to do. And McLaughlin with the kick. He remains perfect. So the time keeps going, keeps ticking away as Tyrone Jones pulls in yet another touchdown for the Cats. And again, we're deadlocked, this time at 56.
Sweating like crazy.
You got TV cameras all over you.
The last thing you want is this white clumpy thing running down your arm.
It's just rude.
We asked some of the hottest pros under the sun to switch antiperspirants.
Degree Invisible Solid? What's that? I would assume it goes on clear, but I'm not sure I believe that.
When your body heats up, Degree Invisible Solid releases extra protection with a clear difference.
Right there. See, there's no white stuff. The harder I work, the harder it works. No flaking, no funk, no Klingons.
Degree Invisible Solid works hard but never shows.
After the match, there's a ton of girls. Gotta be cool.
Are you ready to see yourself as others see you?
I didn't know it was so gray. Gray.
Now escape that old gray look with new Just for Men. More than a hair color, it's a rejuvenator. Just for Men shampoos away gray in 5 easy minutes and now has vitamins. It brings back a thicker, healthier look that's completely natural.
I like what I see.
Just for Men. More than a hair color, it's the rejuvenator.
What color are your teeth? Arm & Hammer Advanced White Toothpaste whitens your teeth with just one tube. Our whitening guide proves you can go from here to here. Arm & Hammer, whiter teeth, one tube, guaranteed.
Tyrone Jones and the Cats back on the board to tie it up at 56. Just one play, 38 yards. Speaking of one play, look at Nashville's offense. 3 plays, 87 yards, 3 touchdowns. Matter of fact, their last 4 plays have all been touchdowns.
Well, talk about efficiency and big plays. I mean, it's the epitome of it. Nashville's offense has been explosive. There is going to be some time, though, in this game. I believe Nashville is going to have to sustain offense, though, and that means, you know, put a drive together with 5 or 6 plays.
Well, that's where that running game comes into effect, huh? Over the crossbar, Conley. Got some breathing room as he takes off, gets out to the 10, reverses his field, and he's dropped down at about the 12-yard line. Bob Cronenberg making the initial stop, and he's feeling it down at about the 13. He's down on his knees.
You know, you got to keep in your memory banks, you know, arena football, guys are playing both sides of the ball, so you're physically wearing down. Now is when you really got to reach down. You go to those mental sacks. And you mentally stay tough. You mentally stay focused, because the way the offenses are executing right now, somebody on defense or special teams is going to have to come up with this big play. And you're running out of time, but somebody's got to do it, because offense is just on a roll right now, both with Iowa and Nashville.
That's Conley in motion. Garcia deliberately rolls right, and it's complete. This time to Carlos James, who opened up this ball game with the first 2 catches of the day. Garcia holding that left arm. He went down hard.
You know, bad that he's hurt, but good it's the left arm. You know, it's a right-handed quarterback. You hate to see anybody get hurt, but you don't want to see him grab his right arm. That's a lot of muscle falling down.
Got rid of the football, and Carlos Fowler out of Wisconsin making them pay, but Garcia stays in the game.
Well, I've been impressed with his toughness and the kind of competitor that Garcia is. He has shown me a lot tonight, and he's taken a beating, and he has made tremendous throws under tremendous pressure.
And talk about toughness, of course, he dislocated his shoulder and came back and played against Nashville. That's complete. Conley again. Boy, he is really driven in the boards, but not before another big game for Iowa. Penalty flag back at about the 22-yard line. So Garcia was feeling a lot of pain, came right back and completed the pass to Leonard Conley.
Offside. Defense number 95.
Penalty goes against James Barron.
First down.
You know, and James Barron has been silent. You know, he's been one of the, especially the second half. He's a guy they got to control and they got to monitor. Sometimes when you make a mistake like that, you get mad at yourself and you come up with a big play. So it'll be interesting watching him here in this next couple series. But in arena football, once you get close to the goal line where Iowa is right now, I think it's just so difficult to score because the field is so short. What you have to rely on is, you know, kind of rub plays, pick plays with your wide receivers.
Garcia looking left, coming back on the right side. Going to be shy of the touchdown. The ball is complete to Carlos James. You know, look at these Barnstormers. They finished the year 9-5, but they opened the year, Merril, winning 3 out of 4, then dropped back-to-back games. But they lost to Grand Rapids 39-37. They lost to San Jose 54-52. There's two-point ball games right there. So this football team could easily be up there with the Orlando and the San Jose as far as overall records.
And they played in close games, and quite frankly, that helps you. I mean, in situations like this where you know it's going to be a one-play game at this point.
Time ticking away. 9:20 to go in the ball game. Tied at 56. Garcia looking and overshoots his man. Carlos James in the back of the end zone. James, it looked like, stumbled somewhat. Lost his footing.
And, Mike, that was the difference. They had James. They had the matchup that they wanted. James just on his break kind of tripped over his foot, couldn't get out of the break, and they had to get rid of the ball. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what...
Mike, you got the motion. Anytime. Left. 80 goal line on 2.
Now Garcia did call the play that John Gregory suggested at the sideline. That's a sufficient offense from not third down very much.
Garcia straight drop, turns, fires, almost picked out by Robert Davis.
Boy, that could have been the difference in the game.
Oh,
right
yeah. Oh,
that
yeah.
could have been the difference. But, you know, in a sense, it could be anyway, because now you're at fourth down. What do? Do you kick a field goal or do you go for it?
Too far.
I know the old conventional term is take the points, but I got to go for it.
No, I agree with you. I think it's a gutsy call to do it. Boy, you got to come down with that. You know, big plays like this, offensive playoff games like this, those are the plays you really like. Really wish you could come down with it.
What do you want to do?
Timeout on the field, so we're going to take a break here from the barn. 8:07 to go in the fourth quarter. There's the numbers. Electrifying game. We are tied at 56 apiece.
Stars has more new hit movies in prime time. Movies you'll see first on Stars and only on Stars.
Just one of 12 commercial-free movie channels, only $10 more per month with your Total Choice package.
The concert event of the summer. It's the Rolling Rock Town Fair from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Starring the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Filter. Moby. A truly unique gathering of music. Don't miss the Rolling Rock Town Fair. The Rolling Rock Town Fair. Yes, the Chili Peppers are on direct ticket.
That's how fast, tough-acting Tinactin pump spray works.
Tinactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with tough-acting Tinactin.
Delay first a little bit. Trips left. 80, 343 on 3.
You know, they're going with that hard count. They're going to go on 3, and this is a good move, I think, by Iowa, but it can backfire now. Everybody's got to hold the water and stay in there and be patient. And then look for James on an option route, number 5.
That's James in motion. Garcia looking for James, and it's picked off. Darrell Hammond. The AFL defensive legend comes up with the first pick, and it is big. But 8 minutes to go, and Darrell Hammond comes down with a big defensive play.
Well, we talked about somebody, and more than likely defensively is going to have to make a big play. You don't see it to the wide side of your screen. Davis did a tremendous job on James, jamming him at the line of scrimmage. That's what slowed him on the route. And then Hammond really sitting there in the linebacker position, able to make the interception. Now you'll see James, guy they wanted to go to. They felt like he could create separation. What a nice job by number 24, Robert Davis, of jamming him at the line of scrimmage and disrupting his route. Then that forced Garcia to go to somebody else. By then, now he loses sight of other defenders. Lost Hammond. Hammond comes down with the interception.
Kelly now with a chance to grab the upper hand. Fleming still on his feet at the midfield stripe. Brought down finally just shy of the 20-yard line at about the 22. Shea Showers and Jack Walker are making the stop. Big momentum swing now for the Nashville Cats, tied at 56, and that clock is running.
You know, Mike, when you talk about what kind of swing it is, now, you know, you had an opportunity for 3 points there. If you get those 3 points, you now create this offset of touchdown, touchdown, which would be, I mean, think how big it would be right now, wishing that you had those 3 points. You know, but it's the decisions you make and the decisions that you live with.
They always say take the points, and when you don't get them, you always look back in hindsight.
And listen, we were with Gregory on that one. We wanted to go for it, too. So.
Russell in motion very quickly. Fleming. Whoa, a little razzle-dazzle. Yeah. Touchdown, Nashville Cats. Kevin Casefaharn, a little shocked as Anthony Hicks comes down with the touchdown.
You know, we've given a lot of credit tonight. You know, when the quarterback throws a good throw, the receiver makes a great catch. That guy right there, Pat Sperduto, credit him with the timing of which they call this play. And then the execution. I mean, great block there. Now, Fleming doesn't throw the ball a lot. And I can guarantee you that Anthony Hicks doesn't catch the ball a lot, and he stayed focused with it.
Anthony Hicks, the 3-year man out of Middle Tennessee State, on the receiving end of some razzle-dazzle. And Andy Kelly says, yeah, gotcha, 63-50. Pat Sperduno dips into his bag of tricks.
You know, first the coaches have to call it. Marty Lowe, offensive coordinator, great call. Then you have to have a guy make a great block. You saw Russell come in there, super block. Fleming has to make the throw, and now Hicks. All he has to do is make the catch.
He has to make
and that may be the toughest thing to do all by yourself.
You don't think Anthony Hicks was...
Absolutely. After he did that, he knows. The hard part is over.
Felt like an eternity before that football probably came down. He felt the leather.
Well, and you talk about silence.
Yeah, that took the crowd out of it.
It took them completely out.
There's still plenty of football time to be played, though. 6:02. Jeff Turner out of Colorado State. Lots of running room. Oh, Turner still on his feet over the 20-yard line. Over the 25. He's finally dropped down by Bratton.
And that's what you needed. That's exactly what you needed if you're Iowa. Something to kickstart this crowd. Now, AC/DC was playing on the kickoff. Nobody doing anything. Now, the big kickoff return, AC/DC comes out, and that crowd's in it.
Wow. 6 ties, 2 lead changes at Nashville, 345 to 313. But Iowa has the football. So they're going to tack on a few more yards. That Arizona-Albany game, 8 lead changes.
Go,
Jack Walker now in motion. Ball going to Walker. Overshot him at about the 13-yard line.
Second down.
So they come back and they'll try it again. A 2nd down and 10.
You often talk about composure with players, and right now, if you're Iowa, you really have to hold your composure. Garcia is going to be instrumental in this, being composed and being able to throw good, accurate passes.
80X option, 27 on set.
Yeah, that's an 80X option. You know, Mike Horchek. This is designed for Mike. Horacek, 5-step drop.
Horacek in motion. Garcia, it's tipped. Walker doing a good job of coming back to get the football. It was tipped by one of the Nashville defenders, and the ball hung up there. But Walker makes it a completion for Aaron Garcia.
You know, Mike, you see Horacek come around. Nashville did a nice job of switching up the coverage and really taking him away. You know, now what Garcia has to do is go to his other option, which he tried to do there, but got deflected.
Now Garcia facing another third down situation with 4:24 to go. 3rd and 8, trailing 63-56. Remember, Nashville never has made it as far as the semifinals. Aaron Garcia is going to call a timeout to talk it over. Big 3rd down play. They're trailing. They can ill afford any mix-ups right now. So will John Gregory and Aaron Garcia talk things over. We're going to take a timeout from the barn. Pat's Perduto and his Cats sitting on top with 4:13 to go, 63-56.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast, tough-acting Tinactin pump spray works.
Tinactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with tough-acting Tinactin.
Tom Green here at Muscle Beach with some big, tough weightlifters.
We're going to show how new right guard extreme sport works even under the most
Extreme conditions.
Back, stop!
Run! Oh no, the kid is gonna get you! He got ya! Look! Extreme protection against odor and wetness. Goes on clear and it doesn't quit.
New right guard extreme sport. Get extreme. Get right guard.
Ouch.
Hi, I'm Tony Conza. Our ad agency told me if you want to sell your wraps, Tony, put kids in your commercials.
Simply Blimpy for hand-rolled wraps.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast, tough...
Concern with the Iowa fans now as the numbers favor the Cats and the Barnstormers facing a 3rd down situation. Here comes the rush. Garcia feeling it, goes deep. Horacek, and it's picked off. This time it's Carpenter in the back of the end zone. So Nashville comes up with their 2nd pick, and Garcia is feeling some pain.
Well, and you have to credit Nashville's pass rush. Garcia really didn't have an opportunity to plant his feet. Really didn't have any opportunity to really see what was downfield. He just threw the ball up, hoping that, you know, one of his guys would come down with it, and unfortunately did not.
Garcia definitely playing a gutsy game. He's been hit time and time again this afternoon.
See, that's why you have to be consistent with anything that you do. You have to constantly persistent, get after him, stay in his face, and then it starts to pay off late in the game, in any aspect of the football game. But you can see that, you know, he put it up there just hoping that, you know, his guy was going to come down with it. And it was Horacek that he was throwing it to.
So Garcia not only got hit, he got scissored that time by Nashville. So with 4:06 to go, and Iowa gets the pigskin back, do we see Matt Sherman, the former Iowa Hawkeye? He's warming up on the far sidelines, and Garcia, a record setter with 92 scoring strikes during the regular season, put up some huge numbers again, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him back on the field next time Iowa touches the football.
Well, it depends on what has happened here. He looks like he's heading to the locker room. You see the turnovers, and that right there will tell you the story of any team and their success. When you see the season +11 outstanding, today +2, that's why they're on the upside of the score right now. And Garcia will go to the locker room, Mike.
Remember a couple of series ago, or a couple of minutes ago, I should say, he was favoring his left arm. And that time he got scissored, got hit low and high. And here comes Nashville now with 3:59 to go.
Well, the last thing you can think right now if you're Nashville that this game is over, simply because you have the lead and Garcia is leading. If you do that, you're in trouble.
Kelly throwing it out of bounds, feeling the pressure in the back of the end zone. Corey Stone is in his face. So 2nd down now for the Nashville Cats.
You know, now Kelly not happy with a route that was run, and he's letting his receiver know it. And you have to like that from your leader, that, you know what, there's a sense of urgency for Nashville too. Even though they're ahead, you're in hostile territory, and the last thing you need to do is get nothing out of this drive.
Exactly. You're only up by 1 touchdown. And if you think 30 seconds is a long time, 3 minutes and 13 seconds is probably going to feel like an eternity. Kelly going deep. It's wounded duck. Oh, the fan grabs it at about the 20-yard line. Shea Showers had Russell blanketed with the coverage.
To be quite honest, I think when you're down here, you're in this situation, you're in Nashville, I'm looking for Jones. I mean, you got to get the ball into Jones's hands and Fleming's hands, or at least move Russell to the wide side of the field, not the short side of the field.
Right zone. 53. Exxon. 01. Ready.
Clock is running. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Third down.
Now, this is a 5-step drop. When you talk about Exxon, it is going to be a Fleming-designed play. They want to get the ball to Corey.
Kelly going downfield, finds his man, Corey Fleming, still on his feet over the 20, up to the close to the midfield stripe, dropped at about the 24-yard line. But most importantly, as the clock continues to tick, they move the chains. Another first down for the Nashville Cats.
Well, nice call by Marty Lowell, the offensive coordinator. And nice job by Andy Kelly of coming back to the weak side or the short side. Watch him. He works the left side of the field because he knows that Corey Fleming is going to be coming on an in route on the wide side of the field. So what you do as a quarterback, hold that coverage over there. Hold that. And know your receiver is going to come in there. And here comes Fleming. Then get him the ball.
Timeout on the field. Andy Kelly talking to the officials. This may be an official timeout as Fleming.
Well, I think with the lack of depth you have in arena football, you got to give up players opportunities to sew themselves back together, or their equipment back together, I should say.
This just in from the Iowa locker room. Aaron Garcia dislocated his left wrist. It's very, very doubtful that he'll be back in this ball game.
Yeah, I would doubt that, and that's too bad. You know, the guy has just had absolutely a gutsy performance.
So Nashville trying to get to the semifinals. Orlando did so. Jay Gruden goes to 3-0 in the postseason against Tim Markham, 34-24 Friday night. Boy, that San Jose Oklahoma game was 35-33 at one juncture. Then the SaberCats just blew it open, winning at 63-40. And then last night from Albany, the defending champions go down to Arizona 53-50. Here comes Andy Kelly now, the Nashville Cats with a first down. There's the clock. 144 and running. Rupert Grant takes it, hits the left side of the line, picks up maybe 2. Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Des Moines, Iowa. It's known as the Barn for good reason. Quarterfinal matchup, Nashville and Iowa. It's been a great one. Sitting alongside former Pittsburgh Steeler Merril Hoge, I'm Mike Gleason. And I really mean it. It's great to have you on board here at ESPN2. I hope you enjoyed this one because I certainly have enjoyed bringing it to you.
You know, Mike, you think of a lot of things that have transpired in this game, and you have to go back to when Iowa had the momentum and they tried the onside kick and it backfired on them. Nothing's been the same for Iowa since that decision. And, you know, listen, you live with decision. You know, had it worked out for them, it would have been a terrific call. And you know, that's part of coaching. You make those decisions with the realization that there's a chance if it doesn't work, it could backfire on you like it has.
There's the 1-minute warning now. 60 seconds to go before they put this one in the book. So right now, let's take a look at the right guard extreme play of the game. Get extreme and get right guard. And we go back to the Tennessee connection. Corey Fleming, the southpaw. Anthony Hicks, the touchdown, and that is our extreme right guard play of the game.
Execution 10. the throw, I'll give it a 5. But you want 10 on execution.
Kelly with a pump fake. He's going down. He coughs up the football. Oh, Iowa has it. Penalty flag's down. Big Gary Howe jumps on the ball. 54 seconds to go. Kelly with the pump fake. He was just winding up to throw it downfield, and he got belted.
You know, we got a flag here.
Whoa, what a play. Goes against Nashville. It's Iowa football. Here comes Matt Sherman. Check it. Aaron Garcia's out of the locker room. He's got his helmet on. Shea showers. Oh, Andy Kelly's beside himself talking to the official down there. Look who's coming back. Number 8, Aaron Garcia. Garcia just left the field with a dislocated left wrist. He's all bandaged up, that left arm is. He's talking to John Gregory.
Well, Sperduto is really upset right now because of where Shea Flowers came from. You know, the wide side of the field covering a receiver. He is not happy with what was allowed there. Rather, he was offsides. But at this point, that does not matter. What you have now is a huge momentum shift.
54.4 seconds, 63-56. Here comes Garcia. Completes it. Carlos James driven out of bounds by Jarek Hillary. Remember, the last minute of each half, the clock will stop. So as James goes out of bounds, it stops about 4 seconds elapse off of the game clock. Boy, Aaron Garcia. Now I know why
80, Z-Option 31 on set.
he posted such astronomical numbers. This guy won't leave the field.
Yeah, well, you know, Z-Option right now. Horacek is going to be a guy they're looking to try to get this ball to.
Garcia looks left, comes back to the right side. And it's complete again. Again to Carlos James. So Aaron Garcia, who once broke John Elway's high school passing records in California, shattered the AFL records this year. Now he has his team alive with 46 seconds to go. The last 2 plays picked on Jarek Hillary, the rookie out of Tennessee State.
Remember last time Mike Iowa was in this situation, Nashville shut him down with 4 plays. We're on a similar situation with first down.
Garcia straight drop. He's got some running room. He's going to take off. Corey Fleming makes the initial contact. And then Garcia somersaults thanks to the hit from Big Daddy Robert Gaddy.
You want inspiration if you're Iowa? Right there, Garcia. Dislocated left wrist. Pulls the ball down with nowhere to go and tries to get it in and takes on some tacklers. Now watch this. Nobody's open. Don't risk it.
Robert Gaddy only goes 6'4", 300 pounds. Boy, Aaron Garcia, gutsy performance, trying to keep his team alive. 63-56. Now let me put you on the spot right away. If they should score, hypothetical situation, if they score, you go for 2 or do you tie it up and go to?
No, I think absolutely you tie it up. You're at home. You've dodged a major missile. Be fortunate that you're still in this game, and you hope your defense can hold Nashville down so that you can go into overtime. You know, Iowa has burned some timeouts. Remember, in this same situation, they burned 2. Come back to haunt you now. You have no timeouts. You have had to make all your adjustments up the side. John Gregory talking to Garcia, preparing him for the next 3 plays because there is no chance of a field goal here. They have 3 opportunities to score.
Here we go. 2nd and goal. 32 seconds to go. Garcia, quick hitter. Oh, it's picked off by Gaddy. Horacek had his hands on the football, and it was batted around, and Big Daddy Robert Gaddy comes down with the 3rd interception. So that's 3 picks in consecutive weeks for these Nashville Cats.
Well, we said it way back in earlier the 3rd quarter that more than likely the defense was going to have to step up and make some plays. And Nashville did it both times they were down here in scoring territory. And quite frankly, that's just swarming defense. That is total team defense. You know, defensive back does the job. You look at Nashville's reaction. You're on the road. Quite frankly, there may be no greater feeling when you're on the road and you go to hostile territory and you win.
Let's go.
Gregory knows right there.
Quarterback sneak on 1. Ready?
That's probably it. You know, they can't stop the clock now. There's only 26 seconds left. You take a couple knees, and this one's over.
Oh, tough one for John Gregory. Great game for Pat Sperduto. Gregory has always been to the semifinals every time they made the postseason. Kelly keeps the football himself. Kelly and Garcia. Now Kelly's a little roughed up, getting up very slowly. Oh. Nashville wins this football game, and we're down to the final seconds right now. Nashville heads for San Jose Saturday, a 4 o'clock Eastern kickoff. So that means Arizona will go to Orlando on Sunday with a 1:30 Eastern kickoff.
My expectations are on the rest of these playoff games are going to be like the one we just saw here. You know, and Andy Kelly is still down. You know, that's got to be a major concern. You've won the game, but I mean, you got to be seriously hurt to know there's only 10 seconds left and your helmet comes off and you cannot get up.
So both quarterbacks putting up huge numbers. Both quarterbacks getting banged up here. Andy Kelly still laying on the carpet here in the barn.
You know, Frank, I would have just, I mean, that's why you got your big fullback back there, the factor back. Give it to him.
I can't go out again, Joe. I can't do it again.
Well, the Tough Acton Tenactin Ironman of the game brought to you by Tenactin. For tough cases of athlete's foot, there's Tough Acton Tenactin.
And Jeff Russell also has to be mentioned in this. But Corey Fleming, again, another Ironman performance in offense, defense, and special teams.
Making that big stop on Aaron Garcia as Garcia headed for the end zone. And then Gaddy put on the finishing touches, and then Gaddy comes back with the big interception. So Pat Sperduto, for the second straight week, watching his Cats ring up the INTs.
You know, and with Andy Kelly still down, that it kind of taints this win just a little bit.
63-56. It's been a fantastic football game. Andy Kelly now starting to sit up down on the carpets. Initially, he was holding his left arm. You can see him moving his left hand.
He got what we call a stinger, my friend. So nobody likes that.
Well, Andy Kelly putting up some monstrous numbers. Just told that Corey Fleming, of course, the Tenactin Ironman of the game, just been informed that the MVP of this football game is Mr. Kelly, the former Tennessee Volunteer. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Merril, Hoge, and the rest of our ESPN2 crew, this is Mike Gleason saying so long from the barn in Des Moines. Once again, our final score, Nashville 63, Iowa 56. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next week in the semifinals. Don't forget the semifinals, Orlando and San Jose. John Gregory goes down and a heartbreaker. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Our final score, one more time, the Nashville Cats are going to the semifinals thanks to a 63-56 victory.